Hello and welcome. It's a good afternoon here from South Africa, but you may be good evening or good morning, wherever you are in this world. To my returning viewers, thank you very much for your love and support. To my new subscribers, welcome, and I hope you find a lot of content on this channel that you like. So it's time for our spring granny square tunic, and I call it a tunic because you can wear this in spring, I think, and in fall, depending on the color scheme. This is, to me, a spring color scheme, but it is, when you're in spring and you're in fall, there are those days that it's a little bit chilly, which is why I've got a very thin scarf around my neck, but otherwise it's too hot to wear a long sleeve. I think if it's fall and it's going into winter, I can even wear a navy blue or one of the blues, one of the colors in here. Long sleeve t-shirt underneath this over my jeans. Perfect. And yes, or like today, I'm wearing it with my jeans and a navy blue spaghetti top underneath. Perfect. Also perfect. So yes, that's the benefit of a tunic. You can wear it actually winter and summer. So I'm excited for those of you who want to make this. It's like the wearable bug has bitten me. Anyway, so in this tutorial, it's very easy. We're going to start off with a granny square. So let me see. I just want to tell you the basics before you get into it. And I hope I remember to tell you everything that I thought of. Not too much, but here we go. It's a granny square. We build out from the granny square the front panel, like we did in the retro granny square sweater. But this is not a sweater, it's a tunic, it's longer. So I want to tell you what happened with me is that by the time, because you know you're going to start on the shoulder and around the, you make the square as big or as long as you want, where you want it to be. You're going to stand in front of the mirror and measure. From there to there, okay, that's where I want my granny square to be. Then you're going to measure in front of the mirror. That is how long I need to add. You add that, you start working around, up. Turn your work down, around the granny square, up, until this is long enough. So that's the thing with this. It's going to lie quite, it can be fitted. If you lightly block this, it can be more loose. Wear it how you like. It must come here, and just as it hits the hip here, I say stop. Then we are going to put some, not flare in it, more room, but I can't get higher up now to show you. But you will know in the tutorial you've seen in the thumbnail. Right there on the hip, where you need a bit of room, is where you're going to get a bit of room, and that's where we build in a bit of room, not flare. I don't want to call it flare. I don't think it is flare. We don't want flare. I don't want flare. I just want room. Anyway, so now I want to say, with this specific sweater in my size 2XL, by the time I had reached the length from top to bottom, my front panel was also wide enough, which means I could just stop. Now, when you're going to make the back, which is a square that starts in the center and works out, the important thing is that it must have enough, the same amount of clusters, granny stitch clusters, granny square clusters, from the top to the bottom, because then you know it matches. Now mine, when I had enough rounds that I did, that the back was from the top to the bottom the right size, it was still not wide enough. And I only had to add a little bit, 2 rows on this side and 2 rows on that side to make it wide enough, right? So, and then we connected it, and we start with the neck, which is a very simple little neckline. I love it. I love this little detail. You can jazz it up if you want. I tell you how to in the tutorial. And the sleeve we will slightly, very slightly increase. Just, can you see? Yes, very slightly increase. It's just, I don't want it to be too big. So, and it must be just up to the elbow. And yes, the sweater in the main color, I work down to the crotch and then I add a border. So I just want everything to be proper. Anyway, so I hope you like this tutorial. If you do, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment. Tell me how you changed it. And yes, if you want to hang out socially with us, come on a Monday and a Friday. Grab your project, grab your cuppa. We hang out for 3 hours. You can hang out for an hour, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, all 3 hours. Whatever. It's lovely to be social and meet new friends online that has the same yarn and crochet passion as you have. People that you can talk to about crochet and knitting and yarn, and their eyes don't glaze over. Anyway, thank you so much, and remember to give a thumbs up, and let's start this baby. The yarn we'll be using for this tutorial for a large part of the body is the Viola cotton. It says, but it is a cotton mix. It says here 85% cotton, 15% polyester. It recommends a 3mm hook. I will be using a 4mm crochet hook. And it says 100 gram has 200 meters on it. It is beautiful and soft, thin, perfect for those very hot summer days. Now, to spice it up, we are going to add 5 colors that sort of represent to me a beachy color. Now, these colors don't have names. They have numbers. This is also Viola cotton, exactly the same as our main color, but this is number 29, number 28, number 27, number 25, number 31. But I would say if you want to substitute, this is like a denim blue. This is a royal blue, turquoise, grass green as grass, and palest of baby blue, pale pastel baby blue. So these 5 colors is what we are going to be using, and I will be referring to them by their color names that I have given them, and not by these numbers that to me mean absolutely nothing. Okay, so what else will you need for this tutorial is your 4mm crochet hook, which I will be using. This is my favorite hook. I learned to crochet on a hook like this, and it has just been the favorite. A pair of scissors, a wool needle is what you'll need, stitch markers. I keep a little container like this handy, probably not more than about 10-15 stitch markers, and most important, your measuring tape. I like the measuring tape that has inches on the one side and centimeters on the other side. It feels like my American friends are living on this side and the rest of the world is living on the other side. Okay, let's get started with this tutorial. This is how we'll be doing it. Take your first color. I'm making a slip knot on the hook, and I'm going to be chaining 5. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And make in the first stitch, chain, slip through to form a ring, and then chain 5. 1, 2, 3. That will serve as your double crochet. And 1 and 2, that will be your corner 2 chain space. Now I'm in that ring, which is at this moment. There we go. Just pull it like that so we can clearly see it. We are going to work 3 double crochets. I'm going to go slow, assuming you are a beginner. 1 and a second double crochet, and yes, this yarn wants to split. We are just going to work with it, roll with it. There we go. And a third double crochet, yarn over, pull through 2. There we go. Chain 2, 1 and 2, and in the same ring I'm going to work another 3 double crochets, 1 double crochet, yarn over, go grab the yarn, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, go through, grab some yarn, pull it through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. 1, 2 chains, and in my next, in the same ring, I'm going to work another 3 double crochets like that. 1. I'm keeping the straggler end, working it in as I go. There we go. 1, 2, and 3 double crochets. I have formed 1, 2, 3 sides of my square. I need to chain 2 for the corner, and then I am going to, let me just, my apologies, I had to attend to some yarn barf. Yarn over after my 2 chains, and now that first 3 chains that I did and 2 chains, so it's 5 chains, 3 chains serves as a what I call a fake double crochet. It's a stand-in double crochet. It acts as if it is a double crochet, which it is not, but it will stand in for 1. So I have made 3 double crochet, 3 double crochet, 3 double crochet. So for here to be 3 double crochet, I need to work 2 more double crochets into that center ring. 1 and 2. Beautiful. Now there is my double crochet, chain 1, chain 2 for the corner. So that is the top of my 3 double crochet, 3 chains that form a double crochet. I will go and slip stitch in there, which I just did, and that is the end of round 1, because in this square that we're making, we are changing colors every round, and leave a nice strand to work in, because nobody likes to work in ends, and then if you have to struggle, so yarn over and pull through and then secure. Nobody likes to work in ends. Now if you have to struggle to work in ends with a little short piece on your hook, that makes it even more difficult. I cannot stand it. Okay, there you go. So now I'm going to turn over and I'm going to snip off this tail end that I have been working in as we went. Now I want to explain, for those of you who work the knife grip, sometimes you will find that if you work a square, it sort of distorts. It pulls like a vortex. The way you can fix that is by, after doing the first round, you turn. Pick any corner and then you're going to crochet At the end of that round, turn. But if you are like me and you're a pencil holder and you do not have the problem, then you only stay working on the one side. Okay, so we're going to pick our second color, and if I'm going to struggle with yarn barf, I will preferably do it off camera. So let me quickly grab my second color. I'm going to make a slip knot on the hook with my second color, which is my turquoise. I can choose any other corner, not this corner. Choose another corner and start in that corner. Make a single crochet. And I'm going to chain 1, 2. That will serve as a double crochet, which I call a fake double crochet. There is no such term, but you understand why I call it a fake double crochet. It is standing in the place of a double crochet. Chain 2, and now I'm going to work 3 double crochet, 1 and 2 and 3 double crochets in that corner. Chain 1, jump over to this 2 chain space, and I'm going to work a corner. And basically a corner looks like this. 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. That all the corners in your square will look like that. So in this corner I'm working 3 double crochets, 1 and 2 and 3 double crochet, chain 2 and 3 double crochet in the same 2 chain corner space. There we go. Beautiful colors. And a chain 1 to hop to your next corner, where you will work a corner, which is 3 double crochet, 1 and 2 and 3 double crochet, chain 2 and another 3 double crochet, 1 and 2 and 3 double crochet. Beautiful to look at. Chain 1. There we go. It's coming on. In our third corner, I'm going to work a corner, which is, I'm going to hold the straggler end, so I work right over it. I'm going to work my 3 double crochets, 1 and 2 and 3 double crochets, 1, 2 chain and another 3 double crochet, 1 and 2 and my third double crochet, chain 1, 2 more. As you know, I've worked my single crochet, chain 2, which is my fake double crochet. So I've got 1 double crochet. I need to add 2 more double crochets in that same 2 chain space to complete the corner. I've worked 2 double crochets. That's my third double crochet, and I've already got 2 chains and 3 double crochets. So there is the top of my double crochet, chain 1, chain 2, that should be the top of my third double crochet. Yeah, the top of my third double crochet. Beautiful. Slip stitch into it to round it off. Beautiful. Leave a lovely long tail end to work it in. When it comes to working in ends, it will be easier. Yarn over and secure. I always end every row, round, whatever I do, I end like that. So please do the same. So we go over to our third color. My third color is this turquoise. And I've already taken out some yarn because I can see with this yarn there is terrible yarn barf. So it's like if you take the inside out, the whole ball comes out as well. So let's start off with a slip stitch around the hook. Slip knot, not slip stitch. Pick another corner. So I'm just turning it anti-clockwise or clockwise, or if you have a method, do that. Third corner. Make a single crochet and chain 2, 1 and 2. That's your fake double crochet. Chain 2 for your corner space and make 3 double crochets in the same 2 chain corner space. This yarn seems to want to split, so I'm ever so happy that I chose a number 4 crochet hook. Chain 1 and hop to the next 1 chain space and work in 3 double crochets, 1, 2 and 3 double crochets. Chain 1 in this corner, work a corner which is 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 1 and 2, and again 3 double crochets. And I must just pause for my yarn at the moment. I'm working my third double crochet in the corner, chain 1, and I jump to the 1 chain space where I will work 3 double crochets like this, 1, 2 and 3 double crochets. Chain 1 in the corner, we work a corner which is your 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. There we go. 3 double crochet, chain 2, yarn over and another 3 double crochets. There we go. Chain 1. Beautiful. In the 1 chain space, we complete. We do 3 double crochets, and I call this a 3 double crochet cluster. And it is also known as the granny stitch because it is mainly used in granny squares. In this corner, I hold the straggler end, and just like that, so that I work over it, and I work a corner, Be careful that the yarn does not split. And I'm working my 3 double crochets. 1 and 2 and 3 double crochets. Chain 1, chain 2 and 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. It is always more important to work neat than fast. There we go. Beautiful. I'm going to chain 1 and drop the straggler end in the 1 chain space. I am working 3 double crochets. 1 and 2 and 3. And chain 1 and 3, 2 double crochets. I need 3 double crochets, but I have one already, so I only need 2 double crochets. There is our fake double crochet. So this is your double crochet here, then you're just counting chain 1, chain 2, and the third chain must be the top of your fake double crochet, slip stitch to join. There it is. Beautiful granny square is forming. Leave a nice long tail end. Now you're going to do the same. Pick another corner and you're going to again work a corner in here, which is, if it starts like this, you're going to work your 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet in the chain 2 space, chain 1, and in the 1 chain space you're going to work a 3 double crochet cluster, chain 1, and in the next 1 chain space you're once again going to work a 3 double crochet cluster and a chain 1. Then you next stitch you work into is the corner 2 chain space, and in the corner you work 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. Right, and then before you start jumping into these 1 chain spaces and working them, you will chain 1, work your 3 double crochet cluster, chain 1, work a 3 double crochet cluster, chain 1, and then do a corner. So I'm going to go ahead and work another few rounds, and then I will meet up with you. So I've gone ahead and crocheted a granny square with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rounds, and that is wide enough. Remember here, this is where my neck is, and this will be where my shoulders is, wider obviously than that, but you don't want this too wide. Say this is half, this is where your chin is, then between your chin and your shoulder, end of your shoulder, you must get a place where you want this to end, where the neck should go. This is we are going to do the neck here. So that is why this should not be too wide. Mine measures, let's quickly see how much mine measures. 25 centimeters from left to right, which is 10 inches. So yes, I think mine must just not be more than 27, even less than 27. So yes, I could even have gone just 9 rounds for my personal size, and I am a 2XL. Okay, so let's grab our main color, which in my case is this beautiful gray. I did not want white because I felt that white gets dirty too quickly or shows dirt. So let me just get some yarn. I have now gone to the mirror and I've put this on my chest area, and I've measured how far do I want this to go down. Obviously I'm going to wear like a spaghetti top underneath, and where does the spaghetti top start? How far do I want it to go down? And my answer is 13 centimeters. And that is how many inches? Is that 5 inches? 13 centimeters. So I am going to now just do this. 5 inches is how many stitches? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 25 stitches. 13 centimeter is, yeah, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's about 5 clusters. 5 times 4 is 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 4 is 20 stitches. Okay, so I'm going to add 20 stitches. So let's just do that. Grab your hook, grab your main color. I've got my main color here, which is this beautiful gray. Make a slip knot on the hook. And crochet 20 stitches. Like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Now what we do is, I'm going to just turn it this way because I want to pick another corner. I am just going to, I have my 20 stitches on the hook, and in this corner, say this is where you want to work it, right? Like that. That's where you want it. So I'm going to work here. Yarn over, and in the corner I'm just going to continue. 1, 2, 3 double crochets and a chain 1, and I'm going to simply continue working my granny square stitch as if there is no problem, you know, as if this is just another round, like that. 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet, chain 1. Okay. Continue working around this side, that side, which is, let's call that your left side, the bottom of the square, and up the right side, and I will meet you here. So I've gone around, right around, right. Now I need to make 20 stitches. So what I'm going to do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 chains, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 chains. Now, stitch markers, please to the rescue. I like visual aid. When I come back and I'm working here, let me just come closer. when I'm working back this way, I will need to make a 3 double crochet cluster here and in this stitch. So I'm going to mark that stitch. 3 double crochet cluster. Then skip 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and in the fourth one, there we go. 1, 2, 3, and in the fourth one, put it right there. And then 1, 2, 3, and in the fourth one, put it right there. 1, 2, 3, and in the fourth one, that's where I need to work a double crochet cluster. How many is that? 5. I count 5, right? To me, this is very visual. But now I've made 20 stitches. So I've got 3 stitches there, which will serve as a double crochet. So when I turn around, and I've done that, marking the stitches, I have also done on this side. Let me just go out a little bit again so that you can see clearly. Like that. On this side, I've marked everywhere I need a cluster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I've marked it on this side. Now carefully, I'm going to go around, put my hook in. There you go. Now those chain 1, 2, 3 will serve as my first double crochet. So I'm going to work another 2 double crochets into that stitch. I need a third hand. Hey, hey, hey. There we go. Yarn over. And in that stitch, I'm going to work 2 double crochets to form a 3 double crochet cluster. And there we go. And another one. Chain 1. And where's that next stitch? Right there. So yarn over, and in that stitch, pull out the stitch marker. I'm going to work 3 double crochet. 1, 2, this yarn loves to split. 2, 3 double crochets, chain 1. Now, doesn't matter that it fell out, because all I know is I'm going to, where is it? There we go. I'm going to skip 1, 2, 3, and in the fourth one, I'm going to work 3 double crochets. 1 and 2. See, just do it neatly and tidy, because this is a garment. You are wearing this, you know, it's just in the front. Doesn't matter where on the garment, just this is a little bit awkward the way we work here. Just get some more yarn. Right, yarn over. I'm in that stitch, so I'm going to count at the bottom. 1, 2, 3, I skip, and in the fourth one, I'm working 3 double crochets. 1 and 2 and 3 double crochets. chain 1, and I know where it is, but I want to make sure. 1, 2, 3 is skipped, and then there I go into that one. Take that stitch marker out. So now, there we go. 1, 2, come on, 3 double crochets, tiny little spot. There's my 5 clusters, 3 double crochet clusters, chain 1. Now I am turning my work. Let me just turning my work, and I'm going to work on the wrong side because we are going to work. We're now working on the wrong side. Let me just orientate again. Or let me just work one more cluster and orientate. Okay. We all know how to make a double crochet by now, so I can work a little bit faster. Chain a not split, and chain 1 and a 3 double crochet cluster. 1 and 2 and 3 double crochet, chain 1, and pull it out. Now let's just see. So this is what's happening, right? This is my neckline. This is on at where it ends, and where it ends is my shoulder. It ends on my shoulder. This is my neckline. So I'm going to work. I've now turned, so I'm working on the wrong side. So now I take it like this, and I work all the way around, around here, and up, and I do exactly what I did on this side. Then I turn my work and come back from the top down, all the way around the bottom, up the right side again. And so I'm going to work and increase not only from top to bottom, but from my design towards my side. So let me continue. You must now continue working this right around and do the same that you did here on the other side with the I'll meet you there. Okay, so here I am. It fell out, as you can see. Most of them fell out because I didn't close them, but it's not so important for me. Now what I'm going to do is the first stitch after. I know what I did the other side. And I'm turning it so that I can actually see what I'm doing. I've chained 1. The first stitch after the 3 double crochet cluster, I'm going to make 3 double crochets. 1, 2. It's difficult for me to work with this yarn, number 1. And then on this, to work on a thin little piece of chain is not the best. Okay, so there is my stitch. Then 1, 2, 3, skip, work in the next one. There we go. Work another one. Wait a minute. Don't. 1, 2, 3, and in the fourth one. The yarn split. So 1, 2, 3. Yes, I'm just double checking. You can never double check enough. You must double check, triple check. Like that. 1 and 2. No, don't split. And 2. And 3. And chain 1.
and count. That's the one. 1, 2, 3, skip in the fourth one. There we go. And that's the one. Open like that. Some yarns do split. I must say, you know, if you can get past it, I don't mind it too much. This one is just, it's a difficult place where I am at the moment, working on a little piece of chain. There, 3 double crochets, chain 1, and count. 1, 2, 3, skip, fourth one. In the fourth one, work 3 double crochets. And there we go, 1, and 2, and 3. There we go. Yarn over, and 1, 2, 3, skip, and in the fourth one, work 1 double crochet. Now this is how mine works out, right? Yours might work different. 1 double crochet, a second double crochet, and 1, 2, 3 stitches. I will just connect because that will serve as my third double crochet. So I'm going to slip stitch. Yay! So that is my last one. So now I'm going to 1, 2, 3 chains, which will serve as a double crochet. Chain 1 space, turn. And this is what you're going to do all the time. You're going to be turning this work all the time. Work in the 1 chain space, a 3 double crochet cluster. There we go. 1, 2, and 3. Beautiful. Eventually, when the sweater is done, this all straightens out and does what it's supposed to do. There we go. So now continue and simply work around and around. Let me just pull this out, show you where we're at. Orientate. This is the wrong side now because I am working on the wrong side at the moment. I'm going to continue working here, continue working, continue all the way down here, and up the left side. Up the left side, turn my work, again down the left, the bottom, up on the right hand side. Turn the work, come down, bottom, up on the left side, until this is enough. There's enough on this side. Well, definitely when the top to the bottom, okay, let me show you on this one. When the measurement on from the top to the bottom is where you want it, there's enough rows added here. That's when you stop going in the round and in the round. So continue. I didn't want to forget to mention that when I come around, I've been around now, all the way around there, that if you get there and your end of the garment is like this, you go chain 1, and those are your 3 double crochets. What you're going to do is between just before the last double crochet, you're going to work a double crochet like that, because it needs to, it can go between the second and the third double crochet. So just chain 3, turn around, and you're ready to come back. And the next time you come this way, not in this row, but then not in this row, in the next one, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to work in that between the last and the one just before last. Okay, so that's my first double crochet, and then I'm going to make 2 more, and I'm going to continue. But this yarn keeps on splitting. So like this. There we go. 1 and 2. And there I have my 3 double crochet cluster, chain 1 and continue. All the way around, bottom, up the side again. Turn your work and go down. There you go. Now we are going to do the back. The back square, granny square, is slightly different from the front in this way. I'm going to show you in what way they differ. Put a slip knot on the hook and chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the first chain, slip stitch to form a ring, which we did in the previous one, and chain 3 plus 2, 1, 2, 3, which is my double crochet, and 2, 1 and 2, which is my 2 chain corner, yarn over, and I'm going to work, see the yarn is splitting, yarn over, and I'm going to work 3 double crochet in this corner, this ring, not the corner, in the ring, and I'm holding my straggler end because I'm working it in as I'm going. 1, 2, and there's my third one, like that. 3 double crochets, chain 2 for the corner, and 3 double crochet. 1 and 2 and 3. It never pays to rush. Do not rush. Right. Chain 2, 1 and 2, and I'm going to work 3 double crochet. Wait. 1 and 2 and 3 double crochet. Chain 2, 1 and 2. Now all I need is 2 more double crochets to complete my square, my teeny weeny little square. There we go. And that's my double crochet, 1, 2 chains. That's the top of the chain. Okay. I like to just pull it the way it needs to go, like that, so that everything is so neat and tidy. Beautiful. Okay, now I'm going to go around and work another, because now what you're going to do when you stop, you're just going to do a single crochet into the corner, chain 2, which is your fake double crochet, and you're going to work another corner, which is 1 and 2, double crochet, chain 2, and a third 3 double crochet, 1 and 2 and 3 double crochet. Let me go around and come here, because that's the difference I want to show you. Okay, there you go. This is the difference between a granny square that is one color versus a granny square that has every round a different color. When it is the same color, when you get here, I'm going to chain 1, and I connect to the top of my fake double crochet. Great stuff. Now I'm going to, where I would have snipped and started in the corner or in this corner a different color, now I go in the back loop of the top of the next double crochet, work a slip stitch. In the top back loop of the next double crochet, work a slip stitch. Then go into the corner and work a single crochet. Chain 2, that's your fake double crochet. Quickly make a corner, another double crochet, and another double crochet. Chain 1, chain 2, and another 3 double crochets. 1, there we go, 2, and there's 3. Chain 1. So I'm going to, this is what's happening. Okay, let me just finish it and I'll show you. There we go. So the big difference here is going to be that where you connect and you sort of walk on the back of those 2 stitches to get to the corner, which you do not do if every round is a different color. So I'm slip stitching to connect, and what I call walking is slip stitch in the back loop of the top of the double crochet, in the next one as well, slip stitch in the back loop of the top of the double crochet, into the corner, make a single crochet, 2 chains, that's your fake double crochet, and off you go. So I don't know if you can see it visibly, but you're sort of walking there, you're walking there. So this will move on, but it's relatively invisible, you know. But that happens with a square that is the same color. That's how I do it. So this is how we're going to do the back. So just continue like this. This is the last, I've made my last treble. Chain 1 and slip stitch into the top of my my fake double crochet. There you go. Now I'm going to snip, leave a longish strand. Why? Because nobody likes to work in an end. If you have to work in an end, then at least you want a long comfortable tail to do it with. Yarn over and secure. Now my back is now from the top to the bottom, the right length from top to bottom, but it's not wide enough. So I have taken it to my front, I've measured it on my front, and what I need is to add a little bit of width. Okay, let's take it like this. Say this is the top, this is the sleeve that will come here. This is my top. So I need to add a bit of width, and the amount of width I need to add is 2 rows only. And on the left side 2 rows, on the right side 2 rows. So this is how you're going to do it, with a slip knot on the hook. Yarn over like that, and at the bottom of this panel, front, bottom of the back, I'm starting in the corner and I'm making a single crochet, and I'm making chain 1, chain 2, which is my fake double crochet, and I'm working another 2 double crochets in that corner, 1 and 2, chain 1, hop to the next 1 chain space, and you're going to continue working the granny stitch, which is your 3 double crochet cluster, chain 1, 3 double crochet cluster, chain 1. And I will see you at the end of this row. the end of this row. Not right around, just at the end of this row. I've come to the end of this row, so I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to put 3 double crochets in this, and I only need 2 rows to make it wider, 2 rows wider. 3 double crochet. I'm going to chain 1, 2, 3, which will serve as a double crochet, chain 1, which will be my 1 chain space, turn. And now we're going to go back all the way. So in the first chain 1 space, let's go and work our 3 double crochet. 1, 2, 3 double crochet, chain 1, and continue to work the granny square, the granny stitch. Let's call it the granny stitch. I forget, not the granny square stitch, the granny stitch, although it is the same. It is just the 3 double crochet cluster and the chain 1. Continue to the end of this row, then we're going to bind off. Okay, I've reached the end of this row. You can see that's where we started. I've chained 1, yarn over, between the last stitch and the penultimate stitch, there. I put my hook in and I work 1 double crochet, and that's the end of this round or row. There we go. Now I must go and do the same on the other side. So this is on the right side, right? Now I must go and do the same on the left side of this square. I must go and add here, I must add a row, 2 rows of granny stitch, the same way I've just explained to you. Okay, do that. Then we're going to assemble the back and the front together so that we can try it on. Okay, so what I've done is I have put the 2 sides together, and this is the wrong side. The 2 right sides are facing each other. So the wrong side is on this side, and if I turn it over, I will be looking at the wrong side. Right? Now I'm going to put some more stitch markers there and on there, 1 under the sleeve and 1 here, so that I'm going to measure it and then put the stitch markers where it needs to be. And then we need to connect the shoulders and under the arms to the bottom. Okay, so now it's time to go try it on, and then we're going to connect. Okay, so now I am going to sew instead of crochet it together. So this is the top. This is where the sleeve will be attached here. Sleeve will be attached here. This is the underarm, and this is the bottom end. Now let me tell you what I'm going to do. Because mine is, can you see there is 2 gaps, then 2 clusters corresponding, then 2 gaps corresponding, then 2 clusters corresponding. So I am going to start at the bottom, and I'm going to sew my way up. And I'm going to show you how. And I'm going to go all the way up until I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Up to here, under the arm. I will sew it together here, and that is the side done. So let's start with the side. I'm going to start with the side here. We have the 2 together. I've got my wool needle, and I have threaded some yarn through here. I'm going to take the stitch marker out so that it's not in my way. I am on the wrong side. See, all my ends is worked in. Here on the inside is the 2 right sides facing. This is the wrong side. So I am just going to, that is the top, the first stitch. Just make sure I'm on the right stitch. And then I'm going to go to the first stitch on this side. go through there like that, and where is it? Let me just see, like this. There we go. And then to connect it, I'm going to tie a knot. And the end that is left, I will work in 2 knots, 1 knot and another knot. So now it is connected. Just going to turn it this way around. Wait. Because you sew from left to right, but you crochet from right to left. So let me just turn it here. There we go. And I'm going to see that I correspond all the way. That is the first stitch of my 3 double crochets. And here is the first stitch of my 1, 2, 3 double crochets. I'm now not sure what the stitch is called. Is it whip stitch? Not sure. Like that. Come on, like that. Just like that. And second, and the second. Like that. Right, and the third and the third. Now we're going to do the 1 chain stitch and the 1 chain stitch, and it's a very accurate way of seeing that everything lines up. There we go. And that's all I'm going to be doing. I'm going to see that everything lines up. First double crochet, first double crochet. No, let me not knock the camera. It's just that the yarn I'm working with is so long. Second double crochet, second double crochet of the 3 double crochet cluster. And the third and the third. All right, and like that. So continue up to where it is marked with a stitch marker under the arm. I have reached the underarm, so I'm just going to take out the stitch marker. Can you see how everything is lined up? Like that. And just as well, because I don't have a lot of, let me just see, get it, please focus, there we go. And that is the single 1 chain space, and the 1 chain space I'm connecting. There we go. Got a little bit of yarn left, and I'm just going to go through that space again, and then I'm going to go like this, just work it in. Come on, just work it in. Like that. Come on, like so. There's only a little bit left, so there we go. And I just want it to not be able to pull out quickly. So I'm just retracing my steps. And that's literally all I'm doing. And there I'm going on the same spot twice. And that is it. And I'm going to snip. And now you must do the same on the other side. Then we're going to do the top shoulder. There we go. See? So this is what it's going to look like. Under the arm, all the way down. This is the bottom of the top of sweater. Shall we call it? It's not really a sweater, hey? Because it's not winter. There we go. Now go and do the same to the other side. Then we're going to do the shoulder seams. This is where we are, just orientation. This is the shoulder seam. Here is the neckline. Now I have already done the one shoulder, so I know what this shoulder should look like. I know that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that one chain. This corner should line up with that corner. That's what I know. So now I'm going to start here and I'm going to work. And I have put as many stitch markers as I can to guide me. And using the same, what stitch is that? I don't know what the stitch is, what that we used. I don't know the name of the stitch. I'm going to sew it together just so that it lines up, right? These two. They must end at the same place. And I'm going to be checking all the while that it's evenly spread. So this is how I'm going to start. Let's just do this. I'm just going to start with you. Slowly, where is it? Take the stitch marker out. And I'm going to tie a knot. There we go. Why is it not focusing? There you go. Right. And I must tie 2 knots, not just one. Otherwise, one knot will do nothing. And I'm literally just going to see that, you see that is 3 chains there? And I'm literally just going to see that it corresponds. That is all I'm going to do. This is on the wrong side, so keep this on this side. We will work that in later. And the next stitch and the next stitch. So that's all we're doing. We are doing just this sewing the 2 front and back together. Let's just take this little straggler end one side. Like that. Neat and flat. Now I'm going to sew in the side of a double crochet. And I just go through the stitch. No worries, just through the stitch. Like that. And then top of the double crochet, because on this side I've got lovely stitches, and here I'm working in the side of a double crochet. Lovely, and I'm just making sure everything corresponds. Like that. And you can continue, just continue and work this stitch so that I'll meet you at the end here. I have finished, so I'm going to just snip off. Now, put this one side. Now, let's see what we've done. I'm just going to turn this slightly this way so that you can see. There runs the shoulder seam. So what I've done is, what I did was I put my hand in on the side, like this, underneath it, so that I could sew like this. Just checking that everything is lining up, right? All the way, right down to here. Now it happens to have 2 ends because that's where both sides end, and then the yarn can split, so it looks very messy. I understand, but it's because the yarn really splits. And then I just did 2 stitches at the same spot, and then as I did with the previous one where I showed you, I put in my needle like this and just picked my way up, just working it in like this. The tail end that I had, and then when we started out, you saw me cutting it off. Now, obviously, I'm going to work in these ends as well, and I have already done the other side, the other shoulder seam. So now we are going to start at the bottom. I've turned this garment inside out so that this is the front piece and the right side. Now we have connected. That's the shoulder seam there. You can see that looks good, sturdy. You know, there we go. That's the neckline, shoulder. Then we go down here, and this is under the arm. Beautiful. You can see how everything lines up beautifully. And then we are now going to work here at the bottom. So I'm going to take this work as it is lying here and turn it upside down so that we have the bottom in front of us, the right side of the garment, and we are going to work downwards. Grab your hook and your yarn. There we go. So I'm going to start. This is the side join seam. So I would like to start, say, there. I'm going to start there because that is going to be a normal, whatever is normal. Make a single crochet and 1, 2 chains. That's your fake double crochet. Go into the same 1 chain space and make another 2 double crochets, which will then end up being a 3 double crochet cluster. Chain 1, hop over to this, but now you can see this is the seam and there is a 1 chain space of a corner of the front of the garment, because it was at the back of the garment where the corner ended that we added 2 rows. So now make your 1 chain space, jump over to this, and I'll show you how I'm going to work that. So it's going to be 1 double crochet. This yarn splits heavily. Another double crochet, halfway. Stop there, omit the last step. Then I'm going to jump over to this 1 chain space, and I'm going to put 1 double crochet in there, omitting the last step, and yarn over, pull through all 3 stitches on my hook. So what you've effectively done is worked a decrease, but it closes the gap. I don't want a gap there. Then work your 3rd double crochet, which will be your 3rd double crochet, just a plain double crochet. So you've worked a double crochet, then you've worked a decrease over these 2 spaces, and then you've worked a double crochet. So there's 1, 2, 3 stitches there on top, you see? 1, 2, 3 stitches, but you see 4 little legs. But it's because we've decreased. We just need to make it look pretty. There must be no gaps. Yarn over, and because this is the front, you're just going to continue to work the granny stitch, 3 double crochet clusters, chain 1, all the way along. I see you on the next side seam. There we go. This is where we started, right? And we've worked a row all along here. Now we just move this garment like this so that it's more comfortable. Right, so here is the join again. Now you can see that the bigger space is here and the smaller space is here. So I'm going to start with a decrease. I'm going to work a double crochet, omitting the last step, hopping over, making a double crochet, omitting the last step, yarn over, and pull through all three. That will be my first double crochet. And now I'm going to work 1, 2 double crochets to form a 3 double crochet cluster. But there's 4 posts, 4 little leggies, but 1, 2, 3 stitches. It just covers everything. It just looks beautiful. No gaps. 1 chain, and there we have the corner, 1 chain space, and we're going to work our 3 double crochets in there. 1 and 2 and 3 double crochets. 1 chain, and again we're on a corner, not a corner, on the side of a square where you've got beautiful stitches to work in. No side of a post that you have to work in. There's a side of a post and a side of a post. Nothing like that. In this sweater, fortunately, only 2 rows. And here we've got beautiful stitches to work in. Continue working the granny square stitch, and I will see you at the end of this round. Okay, so I have come round to the end of my first round. So I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to slip stitch into the top of that fake double crochet. Now this is the end of the first round. Now what you need to do is go out, put it on. You've got to put this, just pull it out like this and try it on and see how it fits, because you've sewn it together now. You've done your first round. See how many rows when you put it on, see how many rows you need to get to the crutch. I think I need 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I need about 7 rows to get to the crutch, because then we start the pattern at the bottom. Now when you've tried it on and you know you need 7 rows, the next thing you do is go and lay it down out on the bed. So let me show you what I did. Here is your garment. Now, push it up. I counted. That's my last corner of my colorful square. 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. When I get to my 4th row, let me see if I can hold it up for you, if that will make more sense. When I get to my 4th corner, from there, my last green corner, now I go 1, 2, 3, 4. That's my 4th corner. Then I'm going to try and go down in a straight line. From that one, I hop to this one, to this one. Trying to hop down in a straight line to this one, to this one. Let me just grab a hold of it. And then hop to this one, hop to this one, hop to this one, and put a stitch marker there. And do the same on the other side. So you're going to go to this corner. There we go. So that's the corner. Let me just put my hand in underneath so we can sort of lift it up. 1, 2, 3 on the 4th corner. Now we're going to try and go down straight. So from this one, you hop to this one, to this one, to this one. Let me grab hold of it. And you go down straight. And you put a stitch marker. Right there. Right? So what have you got now? You've got 2 points on your front panel. A point there and a point there with a stitch marker. This is important. Now Do the same at the back. Now, how are you going to know at the back where is it? Because there's no square like this at the back. So all I did was, you go to the side. You find the side. There's my join side seam. I fold it neatly. And I lay it down on the bed. Just neatly, just loosely, neatly. And I find more or less the same spot. So if yours lands there on a cluster and not a one chain space like it did here, then you just pick one this side, either side. Just it must be very close to there. That's all. Bottom line. It's not that important. It's not so crucial. The front is important. So here on this side, I did the same. There is the join. There's the join here. Fold it neatly and can you see here that my, how do you say, my marker fell there on a cluster. So I just chose the one on this side of the cluster, right? Because that's how close it just needs to be. Okay, now we're going to start the next round with a little bit of shaping. So I need to get all this bulky garment away, turn the work around, and get back to you. Okay, so I've turned my work around, and what I need to do, so now we're going to work at our shaping. So we are going to head towards our first stitch marker. So I've made my slip stitch. I'm going to slip in the back of the next double crochet, the back loop of the top of the next double crochet, and the same with the next one. I'm going to just slip because I want to get to the one chain space. I'm going to go in there and make a single crochet, and then 1 and 2 chains, and there is my fake double crochet, and another 1 and 2, and 1 chain space. So there's my 3 double crochet cluster, 1 chain space. This is where we joined, remember, that was our join, where we decreased, 1 chain space, jump over my 1, 2, 3 stitches, and in the 1 chain space, make a 3 double crochet cluster. Now you're going to continue working the granny stitch, which is your 3 double crochet cluster and chain 1, until we get to the stitch marker. So I will see you at the stitch marker. There we go, we've reached our stitch marker. Now in that 1 chain space, I'm going to work a corner. So there you go. 1, 2, 3 double crochet, chain 2, and another 3 double crochet in the same 1 chain space. 1 chain space. There we go. 3 double crochets. So that's, you've worked many corners on this garment already. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to work it as if it's a corner. 3 double crochet, 2 chains, 3 double crochet. Then you're simply going to continue 1 chain and work your granny stitch all along until you get to your next stitch marker. Work a corner. Simply continue. With every stitch marker you encounter, work a corner. Okay. So I've gone all the way around, and everywhere where there was a stitch marker, I worked a corner. Now I've come back to where, look, now there we go. Let's do this. Let's do this with you. I've come back to where we started, and I did a slip stitch there. I'm doing a slip stitch in the top. Wait, did I do a chain one? Need to do a chain one first. Slip stitch in the top and slip in the back loop of the top of the next double crochet, slip in the top of the back loop of the next double crochet to get to the one chain space, and make a single crochet and 1, 2 chains, which is my fake double crochet, and I am just going to go around another 6 times, just like this, right? So 3 double crochets, chain 1, and I've got this bulky garment on my lap, and I'm going to work the granny stitch, and when I get, okay, let me just turn this whole garment over. When I get to my first corner, I'm going to work a corner into the 2 chain space that is the corner. So I will get you at the first corner. So I'm coming up to this corner. Now you're going to do this every time you come up to a corner, and I'm going to go around another 6 times. So this is to me round 6, then I'm going to do round 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 until I've done my 7, because the one where the corner was first worked is my row 1 of 7 rows that I need to work to get to the crotch of my pants, so that the top is long enough so that it gets to the crotch. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to work a double crochet, 3 double crochet cluster, chain 1. In the corner, you work another corner. So you're going to work 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 1 and 2, and again in the same space, 3 double crochets, exactly like you would with a granny square corner. There you go. Chain 1, and you're going to jump to the next 1 chain space, which is right there, and you're going to work your 3 double crochet cluster. 1, 2, and 3 double crochets, chain 1, and you're just going to continue working until you get to the next corner. Work the corner. When you end this round, you're going to do a slip stitch like that. You see, you're just going to go around and you're going to work a corner in a corner, continue, and then when you get to the end of this round here, you're just going to do a chain 1, slip stitch into the top of this fake double crochet, work 2 slip stitches in the back loop of the 2 double crochets, and then start again in that 1 chain space, just like we did here. Okay, so I'm going to go around a total of 7 times. This was my 7th row, 6, and I'm counting down up to 7 rows. That's the amount of length I need here. You will work the amount of length that you need. And I will somewhere put a photograph, I probably did already put a photograph in, of what it looked like when I went and tried it on. Because then you can see, okay, and it was a very early spring, cool weather. I was making a summer garment, so I had a long sleeve top on and I had a long skirt on, but I am making this to wear it with a white spaghetti top and a jeans. So I needed to go over my crotch, and then I want the pattern. So that's what I'm aiming for, and that's why you need to measure, not measure, have it on and sort of judge, okay, I need that much, and how much is that? Put your fingers down on your work, count. And I counted, I need about 7 rows. I will, after the 7 rows, try it on again to see, is it long enough? and then I need to start my pattern. Okay, I have finished. I just had to very carefully look where I started, because that is the first row. You can see there by this decrease, that's the first row we went right around. Then when we came back, we connected there, and then we did through the back loop on top of those 2 double crochets, and then there, single crochet, chain 2 up, and 3 double crochet cluster. And you can see where we little sort of walked, quote unquote, walked. So I did, that was that first row, and then we went around. Now let's see where is the first corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I went and did 8 rounds of, so we do the first row, the first round, right around. Then the second round, we start with a corner, the corners that I say. And I did 8 rounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I'm at the end. And I am going to make a slip knot, like this. Wait, this yarn has been splitting on me. There we go. My daughter bought it to do amigurumi, and she said, you make crocheting with it look so easy, but I battled when I did my amigurumi. I thought, yeah, well, you probably used a smaller hook, number 1, and I'm doing a granny square, so you can sort of work around. So there we go, yarn over and pull through, and like that. Now what I'm going to do is, I want to go back to this, I always like to work on the side, right? So there's the side seam. Hey, I'm not looking for any words today. Oh, don't knock the camera. But I'm cramped for space here. My goodness. Okay, there's the side seam. I'm going to go jump, 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 jump. And then just before the side seam, that's my space. Choose the next yarn. And I think I'm going to go light blue. And I think then I'll go with this denim blue and a turquoise and the green, and then with the royal blue. I think I'll end with the royal blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds. So I'm going to do 5. No, not end with the blue, because I want to wear it with jeans. So I'm going to go like this. Okay, like that. Because this is the last round on my blue jeans. And this is the color of my jeans. So I'm going to go with this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. So now I'm going to start around like there, right there. And let's just get this beautiful pale heavenly blue. Oh, look, it looks very close to this pale gray, but it's not. It just introduces blue. Make a longer tail, because we hate working in tails. Okay, there it is. Do not let me lose my spot. There we go. So now we're going to start a row like we've done all the other rows, and I'm not even going to, you're going to do, okay, wait, there's one small difference with this. Every round is a different color, because you're going to tie off. So single crochet, chain 2, and another 2 single crochets. So we are going to work the granny stitch all around, work a corner in the corner, in this point. You're going to work a corner like you've worked a corner. You're going to work everything exactly like the previous round, except when you get back to the end here, you're not going to slip, slip, and connect. You're just going to connect the 3 double crochet, chain 1, connect with the top of this fake double crochet with a slip stitch, cut, leave a long tail, cut, change to a new color, and maybe in this one chain space, then in this one chain space, then in this one. Try and keep it on this line and start every row. So we're only working on the right side to start off with. So okay, so let's just work the granny stitch, and I will get you at the end of this round just to show you, for those of you that are inexperienced or not so experienced, like my daughter, chain 1, there we go. So continue working the granny stitch right around. I get you at the end of this round. There we go. I've reached the last of this. I'm going to chain 1. Now every row after this you must do the same, because I'm only going to show you in this one row and then I'll let you go and do it. Top of that one, like we've done before, just a slip stitch to connect and leave a lovely tail like that. Yarn over and secure. Now just see here, I've worked all my corners. This point is making a lovely little extra room, right? Now that is where I started, and the reason I started there was because if you go down, this is the join on the side. I like to do the joining on the side. So, okay, now I'm going to start in the next one with my next color, which is this blue jeans. I'll just call it blue jeans. Put it there, connect with the next one, and you will carry on and do obviously as many rows as you like. I'm just going to give each of my colors a chance to feature in this garment at the bottom. So there we go. My slip knot on the hook and a single crochet and 2 chains to form my fake double crochet, and I'm going to do 2 more double crochets to form my 3 double crochet cluster, chain 1, and off I go. And you can also go right around, and I will see you after I've done my dark blue, because the green around is going to look a little bit different, seeing as it will be my last round. I must check if this is my last round. I'll go and obviously after this round, I'm going to try it on. If I feel I have enough rounds, I must say rounds, then this will be my last round, and then I will meet you back because it has a slight detail in it. Okay, so I have now finished. I went and tried it on, and I finished up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. My last one being the green one. But now we're just going to put a little edging around this garment. So you can pick any color. I prefer to pick the last color that I used. I'm going to make a single crochet, and I'm going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to make a single crochet in the next 1 chain space. I want it to have a little bit of a loop. 1, 2, 3, 4 chains and a single crochet in the next 1 chain space. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4 chains, and then 1 single crochet in the 1 chain space. You see, it's just going to be a little edging there. That's all you want. Well, that's definitely all I want, is that little bit of an edging. Okay, so you can continue. I will meet you at the first corner. Okay, so here I am. I've done 4 chains. I'm in the corner, and I'm going to do there a single crochet, and then I'm just going to hop to the next corner. I'm not going to do what we normally do with a box stitch. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 chains, and I'm chaining loosely because I want it to be a little bit too big, too loose, because I want it to be a little bit of an edge. And just continue. Now you know how to do a corner. You just do your 4 chains in the corner, you do your single crochet, jump to the next one chain space by chaining 4, doing a single crochet, and right around, and I'll see you at the end of this round. There we go. I've come to the end of this whole round, and I'm merely going to slip stitch into that stitch like that, snip it off, leave a nice long tail end. Why? Because we don't like to sew in tail ends, like that. Beautiful. Now let me just turn it the other way around. So this is the edging that we have on our garment. I think this is beautiful. This is just enough, not too much. Personally, I don't think a granny square needs a lot of lace, but, well, not this garment. Let me put it to you that way. So I think it's a beautiful bottom of the garment. And now we're going to do the neckline. Here is our beautiful neckline. And there, this happens to be, the last row is green. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start on this shoulder. You can pick any shoulder. I like to work a garment on the shoulder. So I'm just turning it, and here you go. And I'm going to go right through here. Let's see. This cluster, I'm going to work at the bottom of that. And I'm going to make a single crochet like that. And a chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to hop to the next bottom of the 3 double crochet cluster, and I'm going to do a single crochet, and I'm going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jump to the bottom of the next 3 double crochet cluster, single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4 chains, bottom of the next 3 double crochet cluster, like that, single crochet, and then 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4 chains. Now here we come to the bottom of the 3 double crochet cluster, 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, and now you're going to look where you can put it in next, right? So I will just go into that 1 chain space which is in the corner there and work 1, 2, 3, 4 chains into the next 1 chain space, work a single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4 chains, and I'm just going to work, just turn it so that you can see what is happening. There we go. See what's happening? It's just that little bit of edging. Okay, let's just continue. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the 1 chain space. Okay, I'm going to continue to the end of this square. Beautiful. See, there we go. There's our lovely edging. Now what's happening is I've come to the end of this square, and I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 4 chains, and I'm going to the corner of the square, single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4 chains, and this goes this way, and I'm going to go to the bottom of this 3 double crochet cluster and just do a single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4 chains, and I'm going to do what I did on the other side, jump to the next 3 double crochet cluster, make a single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, there we go, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I need to just turn this garment like this. At the bottom of that 3 double crochet cluster, I put a single crochet, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and there we are in the corner. Let's say I'm going to go closer to the corner. That's the bottom. No, let's go to the bottom, because if I see, you must just like check it out. See there, I'm going to put one there and there, but no, no, there. I'm going to go with what we've been doing and just put one in there. Now wait, let me just move this garment. There we go. I've just moved it because it's very bulky here on this side. Okay, so there we go. This is what I've done. Now it's going this way. Now let me look at this, because I don't feel comfortable with doing 4 chains to jump in there. I don't want it to be bulky. I might just do I'm just going to do 1 chain. And this is what you're also going to do, because you don't know what part of your garment is going to land there. And there is where you should start your next single crochet. So I'm going to do my single crochet right in the 1 chain space after chaining only 1. Now I'm on the back. The thing is, it must just look pretty. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. And the reason why I'm transparent with you here, 1, 2, 3, 4, is because whatever you encounter, what I encounter is what you may encounter. So, like, let's just put it down like that. You see, as long as it looks right, it must look right. If I would have put a chain 4 there, that definitely wouldn't look right. If I did a chain 4 and I went into that one, on this garment, it wouldn't have looked right. If your side was closer than mine is, it might have worked, because then your single crochet might have landed more in the corner, and mine did not. Okay, so I'm going to continue working here, and I'll see you at the next corner on that side. I think I'm going to do the same on this side, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go into that corner, well, that last stitch that I see there. Then I'm just going to chain 1. Oh, and this yarn splits like it's going out of fashion. Yeah, chain 1, and I'm going to connect up. There you go. And I'm going to connect up with that single crochet where it started out. Just going right through that stitch. Yarn over. Come on. and like that. Now let's just snip, and then I'm just going to turn the work so that you can see the final neck like that. Okay, let me turn it. There we go. That is what we've done. So it's just that's on the wrong on the right side. From the back you can see it just looks rounded off, and here, beautiful. Okay, so I mean, you can even change this. You can put another round where you work a single crochet in the center of the 3 double crochets. I would work a single crochet there, chain 4, and put a single crochet there. It might be a little bit of extra, but I'm going to leave it like this. And now we're going to do the sleeves. So this is the right side of the garment, and we are about to do the sleeves. So this is beautiful. Now on the right side of the garment, I have finished one sleeve. Beautiful like this. That stitch marker says this is the first round that is the sleeve, the first round of the sleeve, which is there. That's the first round of the sleeve. That is still part of the tunic. That is the sleeve. And then we work a steady decrease up to the elbow. I tried it on. This was exactly on my elbow. And then I worked my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. And what we do is we are going to do a slight a little increase so that this is like a little boho style here. Anyway, so let's start with our sleeve. This is my second sleeve. It will be your first sleeve. As you can see with my first sleeve, please keep your stitch markers in whatever you do, so that when you have to do your second sleeve, you don't reinvent the wheel. You just copy what you've done on the first sleeve. So grab your yarn on your hook, make a slip knot, and let's start with the sleeve. So we are going to work on the right side. With the sleeve, we will be turning every round, but let's just start. Please make sure, because I've had to frog, I went up too far. I went up to there, and when I counted, I should have 22 clusters to start my sleeve off with, and I had less. And I couldn't find the mistake, and I was comparing this, comparing that, and eventually when I counted from the bottom of this seam up, I found that I had closed or joined one extra cluster. So if it can happen to me, it can happen to you. That's what was wrong. And I didn't even pick it up when I fitted it on. Okay, so we're going to start under the arm. Here is my 1 chain space and a 1 chain space. And we are going to slip knot on the hook. Go through that first 1 chain space. Make a single crochet. Beautiful, like that. And then 2 chains. And that'll be my fake double crochet. Make a double crochet, another double crochet in the same 1 chain space, omitting the last step. Hop over to the next 1 chain space, make a double crochet, omitting the last step. I have 3 stitches on my hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. So this will be a double crochet and a decrease, because we want to close the gap under the arm. Work another double crochet in that 1 chain space, so that I have a 3 double crochet cluster. There's your 1, 2, 3 stitches, but it has 4 posts, or that's what it looks like. Now I am putting a stitch marker through this stitch, because this is my first round of my sleeve, and that is what this stitch marker says. Right here where I worked a little decrease, it's not really a decrease. This is going to say it is the first round of the sleeve. Chain 1. Now you're going to work your 3 double crochet cluster, chain 1, your granny stitch, all the way up to the shoulder. 3 double crochets in a 1 chain space, chain 1, hop to the next 1 chain space, and continue working the granny stitch. As I get to the top, this is the shoulder seam here. Just get rid of this. That's the shoulder seam. I make my 3 double crochet cluster, chain 1, and I just hop into that space, make my 3 double crochet cluster, chain 1, and continue working. I've reached the underarm where we started out. I chain 1, and I'm going to slip stitch in the top of my fake double crochet, like that. Now, doing the sleeve, we will be turning our work every round. So I'm going to be turning my work this way, like that. I'm going to work this doesn't matter which side. To me, it doesn't matter which side of the pen. I keep on saying pen. It's not a pen, it's a crochet hook. In Afrikaans, you say hekelpen, which is a crochet pen. There we go. Make a single crochet, chain 2, which is a beautiful fake double crochet, and another 2 double crochets, which will be a 3 double crochet cluster. When it's done, chain 1, hop to the next 1 chain space, make your 3 double crochet cluster. This yarn splits. It's like dancing with someone with long toes. You just need to get into the rhythm of dancing a little bit wider. Chain 1 and continue all the way around, just working what you see. If there's a 1 chain space, work your 3 double crochet cluster, chain 1, hop to the next 1 chain space, and continue until we get to this chain 1 space. There we go. And I'm going to chain 1 and slip stitch in the top of my fake double crochet to join. And I'm going to turn my work. There you go. Now I need to do another round that is going to be exactly like the round that I've just done, which means I will do a single crochet and chain 2, work a 3, work another a double crochet and another double crochet, and there is my 3 double crochet cluster, chain 1, continue working 3 double crochet cluster, chain 1 granny stitch all the way around until I meet you here. I've done my last 3 double crochet cluster. I'm going to chain 1 and connect with the top of the fake double crochet with a slip stitch, like that. The next round is going to be a decrease. So now we are going to turn our work. As we've been doing every round, we turn our work. And I'm going to do a single crochet and chain 2. Then I'm going to make 1 double crochet, not 2. I'm not going to put a chain there, and I'm going to hop into the next one, and I'm going to do a double crochet and another double crochet, like that. So I'm taking away a double crochet here, so that's -1, taking away a chain 1, it's -2, taking away a double crochet, minus 3, and I'm going to take away another chain 1, which I'm not going to make. It's minus 4. So I've decreased with 4 stitches in this round. Then I'm going to hop over and make 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3 double crochet and a chain 1, and continue right around working normal granny stitches. 3 double crochet, chain 1 until we meet again here. I apologize if this is much brighter, but my camera's battery died, so I had to just grab this device. I'm at the end of this round and I am going to just slip stitch in the top. I've done my 3 double crochet, chain 1, connect, and I'm going to turn my work over, and there we go. There is our 2 double crochet and 2 double crochet. It's just loosely worked, but there is no chain 1 there. So now in this stitch I'm going to work a single crochet and chain 2, 1 and 2, like that. And then this round that I'm going to work now is no decrease or anything. It is just going to be 3 double crochet clusters, chain 1, and a 3 double crochet cluster and a chain 1. So continue working right around and I will get you here, just right there. Okay, so here we are. This, we did not put a chain 1 here, right? And that is our decrease that we worked. So we're going to work just between those 2 clusters, although that's 2 double crochet cluster and a 3 double crochet cluster. We are going to work 3 double crochets and a chain 1, and we are going to connect with the top of this fake double crochet. What is happening here is we have effectively decreased. Now let me just say you have to put a stitch marker here, and this is going to mark. We are going to decrease a stitch. Well, this is a decrease that I've done in the retro granny square sweater, and I find it to be a decrease that is easier, more progressive, not sudden. Okay, so let me just, this garment is just too big to just show you here. But let's just try. So what's happening here is this is the seam underarm right here. So we're going to try and keep our decreases under the arm. So this one has landed slightly on the right side, and the next one we're going to try and just keep in line here, right? That's why the stitch marker is important. You're either going to be on the left or the right of the stitch marker. So every 4 rows we are going to decrease a full cluster, which means a 1 chain and a 3 double crochet, which is 4 stitches. And we did do that when we omitted 1 chain, omitted a double crochet, omitted a chain 1, and omitted a double crochet. That is 4 stitches that we have decreased. Now the next 2 rounds we are just going to crochet. So I am going to turn my work once again this way around, which is easier on the lap, of course. We know that. And I'm going to work a single crochet and a chain 2 and 2 double crochets. There we go. And a chain 1, and just continue working the granny stitch right around. Let me just do this. There we go. Third, 3 double crochet, cluster, chain 1. Work it right around, and I see you there. I'm doing a chain 1 at the end of my round and connecting to the top of the fake double crochet with a slip stitch and turning my work. Turning the work is easier on the lap for sure. There we go. So what we do every time we do a decrease is the first two, we have four rounds, and in the 4 rounds we will decrease 4 stitches in the third round. So round 1 and 2 of the 4 rounds, remember the stitch marker marks the start of the sleeve. So it is actually round 1, but it's like a foundation round. So I only start counting the next round. So 2 rounds where you only work granny stitch. Third round we do a decrease. The 4th round just work granny stitch. So here we are in round 1 again. So I'm going to work it this round and the next round. So I'm going to work now another round, just granny stitch, and then we are going to do another decrease. There we go. And I'm going to work my 3 double crochet, cluster, chain 1, and continue working right around up to here and connecting. Then we're going to work another decrease. So I'm ending off with a slip stitch, and we're going to turn and do a decrease. Now remember, this is the line we follow. So if we turn, our decrease is, should be here and here, or rather, yeah, that definitely 1, 2, 3, one of these 3. We should be working a decrease. So let's turn our work. Like that. Sorry, I just had to turn this garment around on my lap. Okay, so we're going to do what we've done before. A single crochet, chain 2, which is my fake double crochet, and a second double crochet, and I'm not putting in a third double crochet, not putting in a chain, working 2 double crochets, not a third double crochet, no chain, hopping over to the next 1 chain space and working 3 double crochet, cluster, 1, 2 and 3. So what I've actually done here is I've worked 2 double crochets instead of 3, which means minus 1 stitch. I did not work a chain 1, it's minus 2. I did not work a third double crochet, it's minus 3. Did not work a chain 1, minus 4 stitches. I have decreased 4 stitches in this round. Continue working the granny stitch all the way around up to here. We meet each other there. I'm at the end of this round, chain 1, and this is my decrease stitch. Just go to the top of the fake double crochet and slip stitch to connect, and now I'm going to turn my work, and I am again in my 1, 2, 3, 4th round. I'm in my 1, 2, 3, 4th round, and in this 4th round I'm just going to work the granny stitch all around and then insert my stitch marker, which means that in these 1, 2, 3, 4 rows I have decreased by 4 stitches. One single crochet, 1, 2, and there we go. That's my fake double crochet, and I am working working my second and third double crochet, chain 1, and continue working the granny stitch all the way around up to here when we are going to jump over this decrease, right? There we go. Now that is the decrease, yarn over, and in that there is no one chain space, but I'm working between the 3 double crochet cluster and the 2 double crochet cluster. I'm working a 3 double crochet cluster, chain 1, and I'm going to connect to the top of my fake double crochet like this. There we go. And immediately put a stitch marker in there to say 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourth round where a stitch was decreased. Right, turning your work, which is not always easy here for me. And the next round is going to be the next 2 rounds. Wait, let's just show you. The next 2 rounds is going to be the first of 4. So it's going to be just working in the round like we've done. So I will get you after I've worked 2 rounds from here onwards. 2 rounds. Okay. Remember, this is the first round of the sleeve. Then what we did was we worked up 1, 2 rounds just plain granny stitch. We worked a decrease, and then we worked 1 round of granny stitch. We put a stitch marker to say that in these 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds we have decreased by 4 stitches. Then we did it again. 1, 2, decrease, and another one. In the 4 rounds we've decreased 4 stitches. Now I've gone ahead and I've done it again. 1, 2, decrease. There is the decrease, if you can see it. 1, 2, decrease, and the 4th round. And then I did another 2 rounds, and in my first sleeve, that was the point where I felt, let me try it on before I decrease more. And it was exactly on my elbow. Now, if you do this, I've decreased every 4 rounds. You can do, especially if your name is Rose, and you're my friend, she's very small, tiny, 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 and your sleeves are only going to be this much. Then it's going to be smaller, and you might decrease every 3rd round. In 3 rounds, you're going to work a decrease. So the only thing you're going to do different is you're not going to work 2 rounds granny stitch, a decrease, and a round of granny stitch. You're going to work 1 round of granny stitch, a decrease, a round of granny stitch. Easy peasy. See? Okay, so now what we're going to do is this detail here. There's a little bit of something here that I'm just going to go through with you, and then maybe the 1st and 2nd round, and then you can do the 3rd, 4th, and 5th round, and we meet up again for the border. I've got my first color on the hook in a slip knot. Remember that this is our seam, and that we try and stay straight here ahead here. So let's just pick a place. I'm going to pick this one. So okay, so what we're going to do now is I want the sleeve to be slightly in that little piece slightly increased. So we keep this line, and I'm going to 1, 2, 3. So let's do that. So I'm going to start 1, 2, 3. This is the center sort of. So I'm going to go not that side of it, but this side, so that there's 3 places that we need to increase. So start with a single crochet, and chain 1 and chain 2, which is my fake double crochet. Now work 3 double crochets, 1 and 2 and 3 double crochets, which means we are having 4 double crochets in this one chain space, not 3. Chain 1, work another 4 double crochets. There we go. 1, 2, 3, and my 4th double crochet. And still at chain 1, hop over to the 3rd cluster that we're going to make. That's the 4 double crochets, chain 1, 4 double crochets, chain 1, and we're going to make another 4 double crochets. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 double crochets. Now we're going to just chain 1. The rest of this round you're going to work as per normal. 3 double crochet cluster, chain 1. 3 double crochet cluster, chain 1. There we go. 1, 2, 3 double crochets as per normal, and a chain 1. So continue working the 3 double crochet cluster, chain 1 right around until we get here. I've done my last 3 double crochet cluster, chain 1, and I'm going to the top of this fake double crochet, and I'm just going to work a slip stitch like that. Beautiful. Now I'm going to leave a nice long tail end, and there we go. Choose your next color. Please remember to stay along this line, because this is under the arm, and that's where we've put an extra double crochet, an extra double crochet, an extra double crochet. So it's as if you've increased this round with 1 3 double crochet cluster. Okay, so now we've got our next color on the hook, and because we want to stay in this line, now where is the next 3 going to fall? I can work it here, 1 2 3, and the row thereafter I can work it, move it up 1 1 2 3, the row thereafter move back 1 2 3, so that the 3 is here, and then 1 to the right, 1 to the left, 1 to the right, so that it stays in the center line. That is the aim of the game here. So this is what we've done with the first round. With the second round, I'm going to start you off, but you're going to do exactly with round 3, 4, and 5 what we are doing here. So in that space, I'm going to start there with a single crochet. This yarn loves to split. And chain 2, 1 and 2. And 3 double crochet clusters, so that we have a total of 4. 2, 3 and 4 double crochet clusters. Chain 1, skip to the next 1 chain space. Let me just get rid of that straggler end. Work 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Chain 1. In the next one, work 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3 and 4 double crochets. Chain 1. So there I've worked my 3, and there are 3 increase clusters, and they are slightly 1 cluster to the right of the previous round. In the next round you'll work it here, here and here. So you sort of shift back to the previous round position. Then you shift 1 right to this round's position. Now continue to work normal 3 double crochet clusters. So I've worked a chain 1, and I'm going to work a 3 double crochet cluster like this, and a chain 1, and continue working the normal 3 double crochet cluster, chain 1 right around to here. And when you get to the last chain 1 space, you're going to do exactly what you did in this light blue round. You're going to work chain 1 and work a slip stitch in the top of the fake double crochet. And then in that space, you're going to start your 4 double crochet, chain 1, 4 double crochet, chain 1, 4 double crochet, chain 1, and again work 3 double crochet, chain 1 the rest of the round. So let's see what I've done. There is my increase, increase, increase cluster. 4 double crochet, 4, 4 double crochet. Then we've shifted that 1 to the right. There, there, there. The next round we shifted it 1 to the left, which is above this one. Above and above. 4 double crochet. And the next round we did it this way, and the next round this way. Now this is my last round, but I still need to work the edging. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my work around, because otherwise I have to slip stitch to the back, in the back of this, to get to my 1 chain space, and I want to start in a 1 chain space. So let's just turn the work around, and this is what we're going to do. You're going to work a single crochet, and this is a 3 double crochet cluster, so you're going to work 4 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4 chains. In the next 1 chain space, work a single crochet. Right, just like that. Over a 3 double crochet cluster, you work 4 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4. And in the 1 chain space, work a single crochet. Now go around until before your increase clusters. Before the increase clusters. So just continue this way around. So over each 3 double crochet cluster, work 4 chains. In a 1 chain space, a single crochet. Right, now we get to our 1, 2, 3 increase clusters. Just do this so you can see better. Because there is 4 double crochets, work 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the 1 chain space, work a single crochet. Over the next 4 double crochets, work 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. And over my last 4 double crochet cluster, work 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because what you want is it needs to be a little bit, just like a little bit of a edging. And if you work the normal 4 chains, it will be flat on it, and you don't want that. Just keep the pattern. In the single crochet, make a slip stitch to connect. Like that. And that is the end of that. There you go. This is the end of our sleeve. This is what it looks like. I think it's beautiful. It's just very slightly, because of our increased cluster, it is very slightly a little bit of a boho. Once you put it on, it's a little bit wider here than it is with the rest of the sleeve. Now you go and you do exactly the same for your second sleeve. This is fortunately my second sleeve, so I only need to work in all my ends now. If you've enjoyed this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up. And yes, if you like to hang out socially, please join us on a Monday or a Friday for the usual 3-hour live stream, where you can meet other friends who love yarn and crochet as much as you do. Thank you so much. I'd love to see pictures. Please post it in our Facebook group. I share that every Monday on our live stream. Thank you, and I hope to see you in my next tutorial. Bye.